Hey, what's up everybody? It's Stacey Storino. Welcome back to my channel, the #1 place for entrepreneur moms with a digital presence. If you've ever been worried about the advice that you're hearing from people about how to do well on Instagram, especially much younger people than you, and you're not so keen on social media to begin with, or you're wary about some of the stuff they're preaching because it sounds maybe shady. Well, I'm going to share with you one thing I really think you should not do because, well, after I get into it, hopefully you'll understand why this piece of Instagram advice can make you fail faster. I don't want to see you putting in the time and effort into marketing your business on Instagram only to find that whether it's weeks down the road or months down the road, it was all for nothing. So be sure to hit that like button and subscribe to get real world help that entrepreneur moms like you need to succeed when you're doing business online today. Now, if you've ever tried to grow your Instagram account for business purposes in the past and you may have had growth but not what you were hoping you'd get, well, you'll want to be sure to check out my video Why You Don't Need to Be Instagram Famous 2020, where I explain why being supernova big, supernova fast on Instagram might screw you over later. And in that video, I even give you what I feel is the true sweet spot for you to shoot for that's far smaller than anything that you might have guessed, but will likely still be effective for you as an entrepreneur mom seeking all those important business conversions, including the most important conversion, which is sales. So if you missed that video, be sure to check it out. But here, in this video, I'm all about how this piece of Instagram advice can make you feel faster. And what's that advice? Actually, I'll give you a 2-for-1 here. One that's definitely a piece of advice that right now is going to hurt you for sure. And the other one, I'll tell you what it is and how it'll make you fail faster later. And then we'll go back and unpack from there. Because I'm pretty sure I'm going to make someone mad with this video. But if you actually listen to the video all the way through, you'll get where I'm coming from, okay? Maybe you won't be mad then, but you'll likely be disappointed. But better to know what not to waste your time with now so that you don't lose your account because it gets shut down or shadow banned or you're digitally, until you're digitally blind, or you can suffer what I call the curse of the Instagram zombie account influencer, which I already discussed in the video that came up just for this one in this series. Anyway, one of the 2 pieces of Instagram advice that can make you fail faster as an entrepreneur mom with a business like yours is publishing inconsistently. Now look, I'll admit, you're likely a busy entrepreneur mom watching this, so you're probably up to your eyeballs in dirty dishes, clean laundry to fold, and crying kiddos. But I would never ever say to publish anywhere on Instagram once a week and then you're done until next week. And begrudgingly, I'll also admit that you need to publish more to Instagram than once a day in terms of your Instagram story content alone, with a good feed post to be published at least once a week, something that's really great in terms of a resource for your niche that they'd want to save, share, or both. And you'd probably want to do a live on Instagram at least once a week to build community, and you'll want to get into IGTV, even if it's just to start by publishing the replay of your live as an IGTV video, which is now an option for you once you're done with your live. You want to do all of this because, look, that's what every other digitally savvy marketer is out there doing right now, mama. And that might be a lot, especially if you're new to content marketing on Instagram. But that said, you are very likely, if you're a typical subscriber of mine, an entrepreneur mom, so you have a very busy life and a very full plate. So if up until now you've heard advice along the lines of, you've got to publish like all of this content on Instagram a day, every day to be successful, well, you probably kind of curled up and died on that concept, because it's like you might be saying to yourself as you hear this advice, Okay, how exactly would you like me to handle all of my daily responsibilities personally and professionally as an entrepreneur parent and then do all of that content marketing on Instagram as well? Are you on drugs? It's not possible. But the thing is, you can't publish inconsistently on Instagram, on any social media platform really, and expect even fair results, let alone good or great ones, in terms of your marketing efforts. But where I think that this piece of Instagram advice can make you fail faster, in terms of having you cover all of those bases every day for Instagram stories and weekly for IGTV, lives and feed posts once a week, is that it's very, very stressful for an entrepreneur mom like you and even me to even consider taking that on at the outset. And if you weren't a social media marketing coach for like 6 years like I've been, this particular piece of advice might just be enough to turn you off of the concept of having a presence on Instagram at all. But don't go for the head fake, mama. Even if you manage to publish to Instagram 3 times a day, like I suggest you do, for sure, with Instagram stories, publishing once around every mealtime. That way it's easy to remember to do it and tough for you to forget. And publish a feed post that's a valuable resource once a week. And in the beginning, if that's all you can do, I argue you're doing swell, you busy and responsible, yet forward-thinking adult you. There's no shame in that game. And then as you get better at creating content and publishing it on the regular on the Instagram platform, you'll feel sooner or later that you can fold in doing a live stream on Instagram once a week. And then turning that live stream into a well-optimized IGTV video without a crazy amount of extra work, and you'll get used to all of that. But you have to post consistently. Inconsistent posting is not going to work with the human beings you're trying to attract to your business so that you can actually do business. And it's likely that the Instagram algorithm won't be singing you digital love songs for being inconsistent at posting either. So start from where you can, mama. Be consistent with where you're at and fold more in the mix as you can until you're working your Instagram marketing persistently and consistently, because then odds are you'll have more persistent and consistent business conversions to boast about too. Don't not get involved because this all seems like too much work. Start small, persistently and consistently, and build from there. But now I must talk about another piece of Instagram advice that will most definitely have you fail faster, probably later on down the line, but it's a risk I don't think you want to take, and that involves gaming the Instagram algorithm. People who lose their temper and or their patience in terms of the success they're currently enjoying, if any at all, eventually start trying to game the algorithmic system on Instagram through the use of engagement pods and or software. Those of us who are a bit older and have been around the block before know from our own experience or the experience of others, we know that gaming an algorithm is something that can give you a high up front in terms of a dopamine hit of excitement. Look at me grow! And a sense of false security. Look at me! Look at the brand I'm creating. It's so big. But then you're not only chasing the dragon, if you will, to get that next high, but sooner or later that algorithm updates, it changes, the machine learning evolves. It may take weeks or months, but it always happens, and then wham, you come crashing down to earth with software that no longer delivers and or is totally blocked. Your engagement pod related work no longer seems to bear fruit like it once did, and there you are, all strung out and wishing you could have that high again, but you can't. Meanwhile, the owners of the platform that you've been trying to game aren't down with people gaming or cheating the system. They need to have pure data to offer their advertisers, not stuff that's been tampered with. And sooner or later, this stuff is specifically banned via a given platform's terms of service or terms of use. Different name, same thing. And then you're shadow banned. Your account is closed, and or you're left with what I called in my last video in this series, the curse of the Instagram zombie account influencer. I discussed that phenomenon at length in that video, so I'm not going to regurgitate it here too. Go watch that video, get really sober really fast about what it is that software and engagement pods won't get you, either now or down the road. And you tell me how well that crap worked on Instagram for a lot of people who now have digital tumbleweeds rolling through their accounts that they were otherwise lucky to keep open, only to have next to nobody care anymore. All that time, effort, money, and bandwidth wasted too. Yuck. Don't believe me? Every algorithm that could have been gamed, that's been around longer than a minute, ends up evolving to the point and or being programmed to the point that it sniffs out and punishes bad actors in two-dimensional efforts. Take Google. You could have gamed that galore back in the day. But people lost their businesses and their livelihoods overnight every time some cute-sounding update that was totally devastational in terms of its effect went live. Panda, penguin, and so on. How about Facebook and Instagram? Yeah, like I discussed in the last video, there was a time that you could have gotten away with a lot on those platforms. But now, not so much. Mega successful entrepreneur Dan Lok, in a post released on January 20th, 2020, made it clear that this sort of stratagem doesn't work for long and isn't worth it. I quote, "When the Instagram app, for example, made some changes to its algorithm, what happened? Many brands and influencers noticed a disappointing drop in their user engagement. This caused sales to drop for many businesses," unquote. Look, Mr. Locke agreed in that blog post I just mentioned that while it's tempting to game the system, game the algorithm, etc., at the end of the day, it's not the highest converting way to gain sales. And like I've said before, you can't pay the bills with likes or followers alone. You need to get conversions, which of course includes sales. YouTube has, for quite some time now, outright banned engagement pods, indicating in its most current version of its terms of service, under permissions and restrictions, at paragraph or number 6, and I quote, "You are not allowed to cause or encourage any inaccurate measurements of genuine user engagement with the service, including by paying people or providing them with incentives to increase a video's views, likes, or dislikes, or to increase a channel's subscribers, or otherwise manipulate metrics in any manner," unquote. Boom. Instagram and Facebook began hardcore cracking down on this stuff too, like I mentioned in the last video, in and around 2018. According to multiple sources, including Social Media Today and ITP Live in and around May 2018, there was just a first pass at bad actors back then. 10 large groups that assisted hundreds of thousands of people to falsify their engagement rate were punished, and that punishment included people losing their accounts. Good! Cheaters don't deserve to win. What's so bad about engagement pods, you ask? Well, 3 things, actually. Number 1, they mess up the data that the owners of the app rely upon to make decisions overall and or use to provide advertisers, so they can make intelligent decisions when spending their money. Number 2, they create an inauthentic sense of community and interaction on an influencer's account. And if you're using engagement pods or software, I use that term loosely. So it's all fake, which totally lends itself to the whole curse of the Instagram zombie account influencer phenomenon that I discussed in the last video in this series. Number 3, think about what it takes to be in an engagement pod. No, really think about it. The time it takes to follow and follow back, to watch videos and write comments on them. When honestly, 9 out of 10 times, if not all 10 times, this is just content you could have cared less about. Now think about everything you need to do with your so-called spare time as an entrepreneur parent. Wouldn't you rather be with your family, enjoy some self-care, actually work on your business instead of in your business, doing rote meaningless stuff just to manipulate an algorithm that's just in about a few months or so from now not going to allow for any of this stuff to continue anyway? So the first piece of Instagram advice is going to cause you to fail faster now, right now, because you'll get overwhelmed, disenfranchised, and or burnt out. So that's no good. The second piece of Instagram advice is most definitely going to get your fake kingdom of dirt to collapse sooner or later. So why not just focus on the customers you're trying to market to or woo, and just accept the fact that you might not reach 1 million people in a year or less, but be okay with that, because like the old sale maxim says, when you try to sell to everyone, you end up selling to no one. Stick around. My channel has a lot of videos already on it and more coming up that will help you to work on your business faster and more efficiently, even with all of the flaming batons you have to juggle. True story. And in the meantime, want to know how to find your customers on Instagram right now? I thought you'd never ask. Make sure you hit that notification bell, because in the next part of this Instagram series, that'll show you how to actually find your customers on Instagram. Yup, if you go on Instagram for business purposes, you need to find those customers so that you can create content that attracts them, optimize it properly, and then create a community through follower engagement on Instagram. Again, make sure you hit that notification bell and select all so that you can follow along with this entire Instagram series that I've got to offer you. In the meantime, while you're waiting for that video, be sure to check out these two awesome videos as well. And if you like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up. It really helps me a lot when you do that. And of course, thanks for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one.